The mainstream media is attempting to defend Wish, the animated film which has fallen out of favor with audiences everywhere. Barely breaking $100 million worldwide, this film needs an astronomical figure to break even, and yet the media is trying to convince you otherwise. And now, folks are paying very close attention as Wish seemingly will go up against other Disney animated films in January, February, and March. Except that we have a source who says that's not happening at all, and perhaps that's giving Disney the cover to yank Wish. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to the WDW Pro Channel. It is a joy, as always. Joining us today is Jonas J. Campbell, investigative reporter for ThatParkPlace.com and the co-anchor of That Park Place on YouTube, along with Bash Sky. Jonas, welcome back.
Good to be here. I think I am the chief anchor of That Park Place Live. As long as I keep getting
upgrade,
to... Yes, I can make up new titles on the spot. In fact, I'm generator of titles for That Park Place Live as well. Chief.
Who knows? Maybe next week you'll be president anchor. We don't know yet.
Yes.
Maybe you should go to VP first, though. I don't know. But Jonas, we're talking about a company right now in the Walt Disney Company that is not having very many upgrades, even if they make them up. And this has to do with the movie Wish. We have talked with somebody who has a scoop, they allege it. And so, folks, we're going into rumor and speculation territory very quickly here. But what we are hearing is that Wish may not be staying in theaters for very long.
Oh, no.
We've got some evidence for believing that. So I want to show you all, let's say, evidence exhibit 1. Disney, this out of Entertainment Weekly by Devin Kogan. Disney is finally giving 3 streaming-only Pixar movies a theatrical release. Now, this is old news that Soul, Turning Red, and Luca are coming out in 2024. And Jonas, you and I have different takes on this. I think this is a very bad idea. You think this is a mediocre idea. Fair?
Yes. I would say that putting Luca in theaters is a great idea, and the other ones are balancing that down to mediocre.
By the way, isn't it interesting, Jonas, just in case anyone out there wonders why I think this is a bad idea? I don't know why this is stuck where it is. I didn't do this. But the caption here says, just understand puberty. Beautiful. That is perfectly why. That's why families want to go to the box office right there. Now, that said, this is old news. The news that we are pulling forth based on what We Believe Insider has told us is this right here. Tickets go on sale January 2nd, and a Disney press release says the movie will allow families to see these films the way they were meant to be seen. I thought that was a typo. Pardon moi. Soul will debut on January 12th. We don't have to read the rest. January 12th is the one that matters here. Soul will debut January 12th. Now, Jonas, what we are being told is that according to this source, they do not believe that the Walt Disney Company wishes to compete with themselves. And so what they are alleging is that there is a very high likelihood that Wish will quietly get exceedingly little effort at the box office after the new year. And we may see the same thing that Disney did with the Marvels, where they stop reporting on anything. I guess theaters can play it if they want to, but Wish may be heading to Disney Plus at an amazing speed. So, Jonas, what do you think about that? That inside this press release actually may have been the key to understanding just how quickly Disney wants Wish off the big screen.
Well, I think that it makes sense that if you're going to pull it early, you might as well pull it as early as possible, so that while people are still talking about it, people are still wondering what went on with this movie. Could it really be as bad as they say? Or for the normies who don't follow any of that, that you can get whatever social awareness is still there for Wish can be parlayed into a Disney Plus streaming advertising budget that was probably already set out. They already decided how much that was going to be, and they're just going to move that forward and try to catch that momentum. And I say momentum in quotes here, the concept of momentum that should be there for a film that was recently released in theaters. Although I would say this one probably died off pretty quick.
Yes, this one is almost DOA. Perhaps it was DOA.
In fact, if you told me it was already out of theaters, I would not be surprised.
Well, it barely held on to the number 5 spot. and had Beyonce not dropped something like, I mean, just tremendously, then it would have been at the number 6 spot. So Wish is essentially, it's gone. But take a look at this. So Soul is going to debut on January 12th. And this is the way Disney's going to work it, right? So Disney's going to have Soul out for January. They're going to have Turning Red out for February. They're going to have Luca out for March. And then I would suspect that Luca is going to hang around for April and May. The reason they're doing that is because there's going to be almost nothing in terms of box office releases, but due to the strikes that we've been reporting on for so long. And so there's almost no content coming out of Hollywood. The idea then is for Disney to put out these movies that never had a box office release because of the pandemic. And then Disney can soak up all this money month after month after month. But Jonas, the problem here is that I don't think that they're going to soak up money. And so I'm worried for Disney that this is going to be back to back to back. And if you consider Wish, to back. And if you consider Elemental, to back. And if you consider Strange World, to back. And if you consider Lightyear, to back. Failures for Disney Animation / Pixar.
Yes.
I'm very... If I were Disney, I would rethink this, but explain quickly why you think that this might actually be decent.
Well, I would say they're probably not going to do the largest level of budgeting for marketing of these 3 films, and they can probably do it mostly together. So they can get some synergy here by saying Soul, Luca, and Turning Red, and all in one. So let's say they even spent just $100 million in marketing all 3 of these films. Surely they can make $100 million on 3 releases globally of these films, or they could even skimp a little bit and just do a lighter level campaign here. If they make 33 million off of each of these films, they will have essentially broken even. I see this as low risk because they have the excuse that nobody harshed them for releasing a bunch of catalog titles here in the last few months, and that must have gone well on some level in order for them to be continuing this strategy here. I'm assuming that they have some kind of business sense here, which maybe that's giving them too much credit. I don't know. But I think the threshold is low. I think they have a good excuse if they don't perform well. And they need something in theaters just to have some kind of brand awareness for the people who would just show up randomly to a theater and want to see a relatively clean film. Soul, I haven't heard a single objection to. Luca, I haven't heard a single objection to. Turning Red, that one is more like it's a movie for older teenagers to adults that happens to look like a kid's film. So that's a watch out right there for anybody who is concerned about that.
Well, we'll definitely be covering it, and we'll see how the box office goes for these films. But Wish, of course, based on what we're hearing, is probably going to exit the box office quickly, and the media is going into warp drive. They are doing everything they can to defend this film. It's getting a little bit embarrassing. This out of Screen Rant: Disney's Wish finally passes a major box office milestone worldwide by Amanda Lamadrid, and we're not here to make fun of Amanda. We're all here to learn together, folks. So let's learn together. I'm going to read this article, and Jonas, this is going to tee you up. You have never had such an easy assignment for giving us the accurate take on this. Wish, the latest Disney animated movie, has crossed a major worldwide box office threshold. Meant to function as a celebration of Disney's centennial by offering a return to the studio's animated roots with a simple origin story for the Disney wishing star, the film features the vocal talents of Ariana DeBose and Chris Pine. Originally released on November 22nd, the film had a tough Thanksgiving weekend opening, garnering $19.7 million, nearly reminiscent of last year's Disney box office flop, Strange World, which garnered just $11.9. Competing with Ridley Scott's Napoleon, The Hunger Games, you get the idea. But here's what it says. However, the numbers now reports that Wish has picked up steam, baby, in that 5th spot, passing $100 million worldwide as of this weekend for an all-time worldwide box office of $105.5 million, with $56 million coming from the international box office. With a production budget of $200 million, these numbers place Wish at halfway to breaking even after a slow start. Jonas, would you like to educatify us about how this really works for breaking even?
Yeah. First of all, there's the fact that how much they spend making a film is not the goal here. They have to make much more than that. First of all, it does cost, and a movie like Wish with a big marketing budget, because again, this was the Disney 100 celebration here. They probably put 100 to 125 or maybe even 150 million in marketing this film. Not counting the fact that they take about half of the box office haul home, and even less for the worldwide. So
Where
we're
does
looking
that
at
other half go, Jonas?
that goes to the theaters and the distributors. In this case, the distributor is Disney, but internationally, they are not the distributor on these films in that same way. They have to make deals with China and the government of France and all kinds of different people who want their cut in order to show these films. So it would need to make more like 3 times its budget in order
Well,
to
so
break even.
so taxes have to be taken out, and also that 200 million, based on what Alan Ng and Chris Gore have reported over on Film Threat, that 200 is incorrect. They spoke with people who worked on the film. Turns out it's 250 million. So let's be kind and say that it cost 350 million for production plus marketing, 350 million, and let's say that Disney gets half of that back after you take out the box office, the theaters cut, the taxes, and you take out the distribution costs for overseas. Let's say Disney gets half. That's easy math. That would mean, of course, that Disney needs to reach $700 million to break even for this film. This film is currently at $105 million. So, folks, if you're wondering why we sometimes struggle when we read these kinds of articles and why we're continually amazed that they keep coming out, it's because this is basic math, and the people writing about this, no offense to Amanda, Amanda probably is a genius on so many things, but this one's not right, and we have to call it out. And, I think this is part of a broader effort to make Wish not be so bad. But there's no way out of this. This is a horrible, horrible financial flop for the Walt Disney Company, and it's so bad that, again, according to the sources, that they're going to rush it out of the box office to save face. That's what we're hearing. Again, theaters can play Wish as long as they want, as far as I know. But Disney could also move it to Disney Plus the very first day that they contractually are able to. And I don't know what day that is, but it's not long out.
But why would they want to at this point? I mean, first of all, you've got 2 Japanese films that are outranking and outplaying it. You have The Boy and the Heron, which is by Hayao Miyazaki, which it's not a Disney film, but I tell you what, it's got masterful animation, and I'm hearing good things that it actually speaks to some childhood mentalities and spirits, and I don't know the best way to put that. It actually is something that might appeal to children. Or you've got Godzilla, which is a humongous epic movie that you said something that has stuck in my brain, is that the guy who made the film said that it was almost like he wanted to make a film on par with The Godfather, and then had to accept that he was making a Godzilla film, and so he made a Godzilla film that was as good as The Godfather.
I think that's accurate. I think that it's a marvelous film, and I wish that Disney would go back to making films like that. It was a breath of fresh air to go watch Godzilla -1. Reminded me of going and watching Top Gun Maverick, because every once in a while we go watch a film that is like what movies used to be, and they're so enjoyable, and the story makes sense, and there's an ethic that is easy to understand inside of it. Although inside that story is also excitement and wonder and a journey that you go with the characters. And with Wish, I don't know what that journey is, because I don't know why I should care about the kingdom that is totally and utterly happy when you first entered the film, and then suddenly we're supposed to believe it's all bad. None of it makes sense. The animation is terrible. The little talking goat, the best he has is to make butt jokes, and I have no idea still what the powers are that the star has, nor do I remember any of the names of the characters who look like background characters who are all supposed to be the friends of Asha, and yet they do absolutely nothing, in my opinion. So
I'll also add that if you're going to make butt jokes, you're now getting into Illumination and Minions territory. And if you go for the king, you best not miss. And Minions does butt jokes much better than Wish did.
That's right. Well, Jonas, final thoughts on Disney being so embarrassed that they want to toss this film out of the box office?
I would say don't even worry about putting it on Disney Plus. I don't think this is a good film. I don't think this is one you need to be proud of. It is really not a feather in your cap. And I don't say this just to be mean. Strange World was a better film, and Strange World was not a good film.
But Jonas, if they put it out by December 31st, what I don't think they're going to do that. But if they did, then they could do something we never saw coming. Release this film both at the box office and on their streaming platform, all in the 100th anniversary year.
That's a very good point. And that would be so emblematic of everything we have come to expect from what Joshua Harris describes as the Iger Corporation.
That's right. All right. Well, Jonas, that's a wrap for today. Folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe. When you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Do you believe that Disney should rush Wish out the door, or should they let it sit there and linger like a stinky elevator that nobody wants to get in and it just keeps going floor to floor? It's empty, but it's moving. All right, folks, let us know. That's a great metaphor. Might use that again someday. The Pro Show is moving, and it's moving to Tuesdays at noon Eastern. So if you're waiting for the Pro Show Thursdays at 5, don't do that anymore. You're looking for the Pro Show Tuesdays at noon Eastern, and we will see you there. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Wilton, you know you're not allowed in the kitchen. And, it smells like burning dog hair. What are you doing in here?
Well, I got a DM from Slade Wilson on how to roast Jonas. I mean, I didn't bother reading it, because I already have the perfect plan.
Wait a minute. So you're challenging Slade?
Well, not really. It's more like what Caffeine Kennedy and Kevin Feige do to Disney. A tag team of destruction. Plus, we're also making sure that everyone knows to subscribe to WDW Pro this Christmas.
Well, I appreciate you helping Pro, but doing one good thing does not make up for both of you doing a bad thing. Pro's making sure everyone gets accurate information and stays ahead of the culture curve, but, oh man, what is that smell? You're not really...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm literally roasting Jonas in the oven. I mean, I was kind of confused on where you were going with that line of questioning in the first place.
Roasting someone's a figure of speech. You don't actually cook them. Somebody! Oh my, hang on, Jonas! Well, I hope you're happy about what you've done this Christmas, Wilton. You almost ended Jonas.
On the brighter side, he looks great with that new tan. I guess you could say I gifted him a nice complexion.